So this is how we can initialize, we can give values, we can store values into array, 2D array, and we can print values from 2D array. Now let us suppose some special properties of 2D array which we have already done, but this is for just quick revision. So let us see, as we can see, this is an array of size 3 by 3. That means 3 rows and 3 columns are here, and total 9 elements exist into this array. So this is its called, this is its main principal diagonal, and this is its right to left diagonal, which is not principal. So what if we want to just print values on diagonal, that means principal diagonal and normal diagonal from right to left? So we have certain conditions. If we see these combinations of I and j within these loops, we will see this will be a combination of, first of all, we are writing I and j here. So first of all, it would be 0 0, then 0 1, then 0 2. That means 0 for 0th row, and another subscript is for columns. So this is a simple way to write. Okay, let me write once again. This was the array, right? So we can draw it like this, collection of 9 boxes, right? So these are 9 elements. You know, the combination of I and j for this particular element will be, this is 0th row, this is 0th column, this is first column, this is second column, this is R0, R1, R2. Similarly, this is C0, C1, C2. So this combination will be row and column. So row is 0 in this box and column is also 0. Within this box, row will be 0 and column will be 1 and 2. For this row, row will be 1. For this row, row will be 2. So 1 here, 2 here, 2 here. What is column value for it? This is 0th column, 1 column, 2 column. 0th column, 1 column and 2 column. Right? So if I say, just look at the positions where I is equals to j. Just try to find the locations where I is equal to j. Then you will simply say 0 0, yes, 1 1, yes, and 2 2, yes. That means these 3 positions where I is equals to j, that is the locations where all principal diagonal elements are falling. So this becomes the condition for principal diagonal, that I is equals to j for principal diagonal. So if question comes that write a code within 2D array to print only principal diagonal elements, then we'll write within 2 for loops, we'll write if I equals to j. That means we are comparing values of I and j, and if you find this is equal, if value of I is equal to j, this means you can clearly identify, you can verify that within none other box except these 3 contains the same condition. Nowhere you can find I equals to j. So wherever I equals to j, that means we are talking about principal diagonal. Let's come to another diagonal which is from right to left, and here we'll see that the order of this matrix is 3 by 3, and there is a condition if we add I plus j, right? And if it is 2, exactly equal to 2 in case when size is 3 by 3. If it is 4 by 4, then we'll see I plus j equal 3, right? The boxes in which this condition is true, right? We'll find such boxes. So if we start from here, then 0 plus 2 is 2. I plus j, we are adding these two I plus j. So it becomes 2. Exactly 2, not less than, not greater than. 1 plus 1 is 2 and 2 plus 0 is 2. So these are 3 boxes which are falling on the another diagonal which is from right to left. Right? We can see this condition is taking place in these 3 boxes only. You can verify in none other box contains this condition. Right? So 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 1 is 3, 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, 1 plus 0 is 1. So these are only 3 boxes. So whenever we are in the position we are asked to print only elements which are lying on right to left diagonal, we'll write the condition I plus j equals 2. Okay, what if we want to print transpose of this given matrix? It's very quick and tricky answer. Instead of printing Aij, you just print Aji. If you print A instead of Aij, if you print just Aji, A of Ji, that means you write column first and row then row after. Then you will see your transpose of this matrix will be printed. Fine. Let's move further. See, we have matrices in computer science. We have matrices, and we always talk about binary systems. So anything, whatever information, whatever our work we are storing inside the computer, that takes place in the form of zeros and ones, right? So we are considering such matrix which are containing zeros and ones, more and more zeros. Let us take an example. Suppose we have this matrix, right? Its size may be anything, right? Let us assume it's not a square matrix, and this time it is bigger one, right? So this is the matrix. Let us make it completely. Let me make it completely. So these are rows I'm drawing. Okay, who will tell me its size, its order? This is R0, this is R1, this is row 2, this is R3, this is R4, this is R5. So this means 6 rows are there. So we write order as row by column. So 6 rows. And what about columns? So this is C0, C1, C2, C3, right? So from 0 to 3, that means 4 columns are there. This means size of this matrix or order of this matrix is 6 by 4. Fine. If it contains some entries like 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 4, 0, 0, 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6, 0, 0. What do you observe here? That this matrix contains maximum zeros and only few elements are non-zero. Non-zero means which are not zero. So how many non-zero elements are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. There are only 6 non-zero elements into it. Can you tell me how many zero elements into it? Simply 6 into 4 is 24. This means this matrix contains total 24 elements. Out of 24, 6 are non-zero elements. So remaining 18 are zero elements. Such a matrix which contains maximum zeros are called sparse matrix. What did I say? A matrix which contains maximum zero entries and minimum non-zero entries is called sparse matrix. And its reverse is a matrix which contains maximum number of non-zero elements and zero elements are very less in number. Such a matrix is called dense matrix. So I said dense matrix. There are two types of matrix, sparse matrix and dense matrices. Fine. Okay. So let's move to tridiagonal matrices. And we have 2 more topics remaining in this topic. These are upper triangular matrix and lower triangular matrix. So these 3 are types of sparse matrix only. A matrix it is clearly identified. A matrix which is containing non-zero elements only on diagonal, upper diagonal and lower diagonal. Such a matrix is known as tridiagonal matrix. Why tri? Tri means 3. So why 3? One is this diagonal, one is above this diagonal, and one is below this diagonal. So these are 3, you can say 3 diagonals into it. And if all non-zero elements are situated on these 3 diagonals, that means on principal diagonal, above it and below it, right? If all non-zero elements are situated on these three diagonals, such a matrix is known as tridiagonal matrix. Tridiagonal matrix. Fine. So this is first. Second is this is very important question. Within all your assignments and class tests and quizzes, you will be asking this question. You will be asked this question, right? So this is important. So try to understand this clearly. I said a sparse matrix which has all non-zero elements only on principal diagonal, above it and below it. Such a matrix is known as tridiagonal matrix. Fine. Okay, let's come to upper triangular and lower triangular matrices. What is upper triangular? Upper triangular matrix. And last but not the least, this is lower triangular matrix. Fine. So a matrix, or we can say a sparse matrix which has all non-zero elements on the top of principal diagonal, that matrix is known as upper triangular matrix. What did I say? A matrix which has all non-zero elements above the principal diagonal and rest of all elements are zeros. Fine. Such a matrix is known as upper triangular matrix. And in reverse, in return, we can say a matrix which has all non-zero elements below the principal diagonal is known as lower triangular matrix. Fine. So we'll have an example of these two. So let us assume we have a matrix of this size, right? So this is clear that if we say diagonals, this means this is a square matrix. So this is a matrix of 4 by 4. If I say this is a upper triangular matrix, what do I mean by that? On principal diagonal, all will be 0. Below it, all will be zeros. Fine. So what is left? These boxes are left which are above the principal diagonal. So if I say these are non-zero elements, right? Maybe 2, maybe 1, right? So this is an example of upper triangular matrices or matrix. Fine. Similarly, we can have another example of lower triangular matrix. So this is 4 by 4. Once again we will make all elements on diagonal as zeros. Fine. And this time, because we are making lower triangular matrix, so all entries above this diagonal will also be zeros. So all are zeros, and here is 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 7, right? So all these elements below the principal diagonal are non-zero, and above diagonal these are zero elements. So this is called lower triangular matrix. I hope I am clear. So within labs programming sessions, we will see how can we code it. If you observe these entries, or if you observe within these matrices, if you observe the values of I and j within particular boxes, you will see out of these three, you will see I is less than j. If condition is I less than j, then we are talking about upper triangular matrix. If we say I greater than j, this means we are talking about lower triangular matrix. You can observe it, you can verify this. Within this matrix, you can clearly identify that 0, 0 is equal 0, 1. This means I is less than j. 0, 2, I is less than j. 0, 1, 2, I is less than j. This means if I less than j, this means it is upper triangular matrices or matrix. We can say if I less than j and all non-zero elements are situated at I less than j positions, that is we are talking about UTM, that is upper triangular matrix. Or if I say I greater than j, that means we are talking about lower triangular matrices. Fine. I hope this is clearly understood to you. Fine. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, we will make it clear into class. Thank you.